Hey Taurus, how's it going? I got some oracle messages for you here today. I'm getting a strong sense of tough love. Either you need it or you're going to give it to someone. Um, there's a very good balance of masculine and feminine supportive energies here. We have like a sort of severe and stern energy on one hand being mixed and balanced with a very compassionate and gentle energy on the other hand, but like mixing together and coming together in like one person maybe, or in one form. And it's to essentially eliminate a stagnation, eliminate a blockage, eliminate like maybe a mental prison or an emotional prison. It's a very powerful combination of like almost, they're essentially planetary spirits like Arifiel and Anael, these sort of archangel energies that are like mixing into one force. And that could be symbolic or it could be literal, depending on what sort of things you do in your day to day. But we have this sense of getting rid of something like spring cleaning. I keep hearing spring cleaning. And I am recording this on March 2nd. You could be watching this at any time. But, people are getting ready for spring cleaning. There's a lot of holidays around the world that are dedicated to these sort of spring cleaning concepts that are being celebrated today, in fact. And in this case, it's necessary to ask for help. And I can't figure out if this is you who needs the help or if you are the helper here. It feels very like either or. I can't maybe I'm talking to two very large groups of people. Maybe it's like 50-50 for the viewers here. And this problem, it's like a burden that needs to be cleared out and can't be shared alone by the person who is suffering this burden or who has this problem or who needs to clear out space for something new. It could literally just be like you need help moving some boxes in your house, something like that. But I think it's also more of a real issue. Like, I think for some of you, there's a really good vibe or a really good chance to find a good therapist at this time. So if you've been thinking about, I wonder if I should talk to a therapist or something, now would be a great time to find one. I think you'll find a really good one and be happy with the one that you find. And sharing the burden with a therapist can be really good. I also get a sense of like a good friend just being there for someone, whether you need that good friend or if you are that good friend. Now's a good time to reach out. Either way, either offer help or ask for help, but it's kind of necessary to look for that assistance right now. It's this problem is just going to be, not that you can't do it alone. You probably could, but it might not be as successful or fulfilling if you do it alone, and it might be more difficult than it needs to be. And it also might, when we ask for help, it sometimes opens up different opportunities as well that we wouldn't experience if we didn't ask for help. When we bring other people in, they have different perspectives, they have different goals, different values, different things they can do, different resources and connections, and we might be unaware of these things, and then when we ask for help, this person's like, oh yeah, I know this guy who can do this, or like, oh, this is a way that I've done this, and then you learn something, or you gain an opportunity to do something. And the spring cleaning is more than just getting rid of some old stuff or getting rid of some old baggage or solving a problem or getting rid of a shortcoming, but now it's that plus expanding your path or finding a new path or finding better tools to use on your path. And also there's a sense of this is like decreasing an ailment, like getting rid of either literally an ailment by seeking help with it. It could be something as simple as that, like it's just a sickness, an injury, a disease or something. Now's the time to go deal with that professionally. Or it's getting rid of a shortcoming, something about your character that you've been working on or have noticed. Now's a good time to do that work on that thing and decrease that thing or even eliminate it completely if that's a possibility or if that's desirable. And you can do like talk therapy with someone or ritual with non-human entities, if that's your sort of thing, but like having a back and forth about it, being open about it, talking about it, putting attention on this shortcoming and making the intention to deal with it is going to be very successful at this time, and it's going to help clear space within yourself. And it's basically the key to a door that you might felt was locked or jammed. This sort of shortcoming needs to be decreased, and then the door unlocks, is sort of the feeling I get here. And you have, like I said, you have these two very, very powerful and supportive energies to call upon that are sort of mixed together. A very severe and stern energy on one hand, that's like a no BS, let's do this, I'm not going to be easy on you, we're going to get through this and it's going to be fine. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be fine. Balanced out with this sense of compassion and love and tenderness. And these two things are going to be happening at the same time for you. So the sternness is going to be easy to take with the gracefulness, and the gracefulness isn't going to be diffuse and wishy-washy. It's going to be balanced with effective sternness. So whatever it is that you need to work on, this thing that you need to decrease and get rid of out of your life, if you do the work now, ask for help now, it's going to be fruitful, it's going to be successful. You're going to be able to do it now. You'll find these resources opening up for you, these supportive energies. You'll find them. If you don't see them right now, they are there. They are absolutely there, and they're just waiting for you to like ask them to help you. You know, they don't want to force themselves on you. They don't want to like push themselves. Well, maybe the more stern energy wants to, but the more gentle energy won't allow it to happen right now. So you have to like be willing to allow the more stern energy in at this time. So let's find out a little bit more about this. Let's focus on this stern energy, this sort of Saturnian energy that I'm sensing. This very, very tough, severe, but for your best interest kind of energy. Let's see. Interesting. I think this energy is coming from someone very, very close to you. We have the Ten of Cups here. Or I think this says perfect success. Yeah. So this deck of cards sometimes says little messages down at the bottom instead of Ten of Cups or whatever. But here I think we have someone that you're very close to, someone that you trust deeply. You know, sometimes other people understand our problems better than we understand them ourselves, especially people that we're close to, because they're more sensitive to our minor changes in mood, our minor changes in mentality, the things we say from day to day. They notice when there's a difference, right? They notice when something's wrong. They notice when something's off. And they usually notice before we do. And generally a person like that is willing to help and doesn't want to annoy you, so isn't going to straight up offer the help because they don't want to, you know, how that sort of thing, how some people can get annoyed if someone offers help when that person feels like they don't need help, right? So they have to wait to realize that they need help. Maybe you have to wait till someone realizes that they need help and asks you for it, or maybe you're on the other side and you have to realize that you have to ask for help, that this thing isn't going to go away on its own, at least not very easily. And there's somebody very, very close to you who is there to offer this help. It's not far. It's like right at your fingertips. And yeah, it's if you know some stern, hard-nosed person in your friend group or family or work group, see if you can talk to them. They might surprise you with how interested they really are in helping you. You might not notice that they want to help you because they're so Saturnine in their appearance. Let's see about this more Venusian energy that I'm getting that's balancing out this Saturnine energy. Who or what this could be. Yeah, these two kind of stuck. We have the Empress and the Devil. Well, the Empress is the Venus card. Huh. So here, I think this might be the same person. I think that's why the Devil came out, because of the Saturnine card, and it just, like, when I looked at it, it was like, it's the same Saturnine energy. This is just confirming that, like, just keep focusing on that Saturnine aspect, that there's, I think this is the same person. I think this is probably one person or one energy that is going to help you, and it is thoroughly mixed together. You know, we have this masculine and feminine brought together by chains here. There's this, it's like one entity. It's a mixed energy here. And this person might be either extremely obvious to you who it is, and you just know right off the bat, or it's someone who's going to surprise you. I don't get this in-between energy of like, oh, I wonder if it's this person or not. It's either you know who this person is, who you can ask for help, or you have no idea that this person is willing to help. It's like these two extreme options that you have to work with, which is very interesting. So there is someone who within themselves has a deep compassion and gentleness, and externally is very, very hard-nosed, is very tough, has a tough exterior. This is the energy or the person that's going to support you. It could be even a part of yourself that you might need to soften a part of yourself to allow the more gentle aspects to come through. There might be a part of you that's perhaps unbalanced in the Saturnine aspect, has a little bit too much, and needs to be balanced with the more Venusian energy. So if you can identify that within yourself, if there's a part of you that you feel like over time, maybe recently, or perhaps for a long time, you felt like, oh, I could be more gentle about this or more compassionate about that, and then you kind of like shake your head and say, no, there's no point in doing that, or like you don't want to, you have this resistance or aversion to letting that part soften. That's the part that you really should let soften. And you don't have to soften it completely. You just have to balance the Saturnine. You don't have to eliminate the Saturnine. You just have to, maybe you have like, maybe it should be like 50-50, 50% Saturnine, 50% Venus, and maybe you're running at like 80% Saturnine and 20% Venus, and you just have to like modulate it. You just got to like turn the dials a little bit and let it balance itself out just by putting some awareness on that. And then once you do that, you'll feel different. Well, obviously you'll feel different, but you'll, oh, you know what? I'm being pulled into another card here to clarify this. It's kind of hard to put into words if this is an internal thing. If it's an external thing, like I said, you might just have to ask around and just choose to trust the person that's hard to identify. You know, if you're in that group that's like, I have no idea who this could be helping me. Pick a few people that like you already trust and maybe try to talk to them about asking them for help and see their reaction. If it's someone that's very, very easy to identify, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how willing they are to help. Yeah, so for some of you, I get literally spring cleaning. Like if you started to reorganize your living space, to clean it out, to renovate it or something, just the act of doing that is going to balance this inner part of you out. Like oftentimes our inner and outer processes are the same thing, right? And by clearing out a space that we live in or that we work in or occupy a lot of the time, and reorganize it, that also reorganizes our inner space. This is sort of the crusade concept or the jihad concept, where as the outer infidel is being slain, the inner demons are being slain, and the two are identical. And this is how warriors in the medieval and ancient era gained spiritual enlightenment and insight and heightened states of consciousness, was by bringing the inner war and the outer war into harmony with each other, and actually they became the exact same thing. And there are a lot of accounts of these extremely deeply mystical warriors who've had like these deep spiritual experiences in wartime, because their inner and outer lives, there was like no more subject and no more object. It was like this unified experience. And I know that's an extreme case, but cleaning out a room can be like that. And that process, like, externalize your inner processes right now with just physical work, labor, cleaning something out, creating something artistic, or just focusing on work and how the process is that you do at your job, and like just be in that process. And the way you do your job well, the way it's organized and how you perform it in like a clean or professional way or in an orderly way or something like that, will bring an orderliness and focus into your inner life. And you'll see analogies, right? The analogies in your external world will immediately illuminate your internal world. The way you move something around, the way you do something will be an obvious analogy for what's going on within you. And as you act and perfect it in the outer world, you're also acting on your inner world. And I think this is also how you bring in the help. Because sometimes there are some people in our lives who are willing to help us, but they don't even know how. And then when you start doing something, then they're like, oh, I can help this person do that. I know how to do that. Or like, oh, like, just back to the simple example, like, oh, this person started moving boxes down the stairs. I'll just go help them move these boxes down the stairs. And now you have your help, or now you're offering the help, whichever side of this you're on. So beginning the process, and not doing it secretly, like openly begin this process of what you're doing, and you'll find someone willing to help. You'll find someone ask like, hey, you need a hand? And then they might help you with an external task, and while that's going on, you can explore the more internal aspects of what's going on. If you're on the opposite side of that, look for people who need help. Look for your friend or your family member who is doing something, and offer a helping hand. And then be ready and open to the possibility that they will begin discussing their inner life, and go from there, right? So I'm going to pull a token for you, Taurus. See what we got here. One last thing to bring this all together. So we have the owl and the number 5. So again, we have this sense of watchfulness. We also have the sense of paying attention to something that's in the dark. Or this could literally be something's going to happen at nighttime. Just keep your eyes, if there's someone that you generally meet at night, maybe that's the person you're supposed to help, or that's the person who's going to help you. But here, an owl sees in the dark, right? So you're being asked to look at things that other people don't look at or can't see, to use that part of your sight, the part of your intuition, the part of your awareness that you know can see in the dark, that can look at your subconscious, that can look at the shadow, that can look at things other people don't notice, maybe working with the invisible realm and beings that people can't normally see. Now is the time to use those capabilities that you possess, and not. Yeah. So the owl sees in the dark, but acts in the physical world, while it like lives in both worlds at the same time. So again, I get this feeling of seeing how you can match your inner and outer worlds together, how you can reflect them in each other. And perhaps there is, well, I get this thing, I generally don't talk about this sort of stuff, but like if you're into sort of the old star religions and how they've been sort of rebirthed today in the new age, starting in like the 1980s and 90s with like the starseed stuff, you might want to look into Arcturian like phenomenology or symbolism or things like that. Arcturian beings, according to the new age, according to like certain trance channelers and things like that, are associated with owls. They're often associated with like the large-headed bug-eyed aliens. That are similar to little grays. They're apparently not little grays. There are these distinctions, but they appear similarly to them. Perhaps you want to look at like Arcturus energy, Arcturian themes, and these are themes of like very advanced science, very advanced mental capabilities, psychology, chemistry, really, really hard-nosed science stuff. Really advanced, cutting-edge science. And there might be something in there. There might be some novel innovation that's coming out that can help you. Maybe you want to look into some science journals, or maybe you just want to look into like what Arcturian stuff is, and the maybe Greek mythology of Athena. Athena is associated with owls, also associated with the Arcturians. Again, this is really odd, but in the 90s there was some trance channeler who was dealing with Arcturian energy, and they say that their interdimensional spaceship that they use is called the Athena. I don't know, it's just something I read a very, very long time ago from a trance channeler. Perhaps there's some significance there, and I know looking into those sort of things can unlock ideas in people when they start reading about starseed stuff and this sort of 1980s, 1990s trance channel stuff, early 2000s. It's been transformative for a lot of people who look into it just because they read the trance-channeled sessions and there's just something in the words that speaks to them and makes them think of certain things that they normally wouldn't have thought about. So maybe that can help at this time. I haven't studied that stuff in a very long time, so that's why I'm reluctant to talk about it. I can't really remember or share specifics at this moment, but I get a strong feeling of looking into that might be helpful for some of you. But basically here, what I'm seeing is something that's simple to deal with. No matter how painful and difficult it is or has been, the solution for it is like ripened and ready to be plucked and utilized. And it's like, it's right there. You just have to choose to grab it and use it. So this big issue that you may have been dealing with, it's going to be decreased. You just got to reach out and do it. Like you take the first step and then the rest is just like a breath of fresh air, and it starts dissolving and cleaning everything out and leaving room for something new. So take that step. Taurus, I think that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I always appreciate you stopping by. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.